There's lots of stablecoins now in the crypto space with a few different approaches. And for the most part, they are pegged to the US dollar or some other fiat currency. And I think the value of this is relatively obvious. It sort of gives us, especially for Americans, we're just used to kind of envisioning our wealth or our assets in dollar terms. And it's also what you use to pay rent and buy groceries, at least for the, at least until we kind of get to the Bitcoin standard, that'll kind of remain the case. And so that's been the majority of the target behind, stablecoin development so far. But there's some issues behind that. I think one of the more potentially obvious downsides of having a fiat-backed stablecoin is that fiat is actually not that stable, especially these days. I think that rings more true than ever. We see published inflation rates of 8%. If you look at some sort of assets, it's even higher than that. And so, if all you did was held all of your assets in U.S. dollars, you'd actually have less purchasing power over time. And I think this purchasing power is kind of the core concept that I want to get behind. And so what some projects, I think notably that I think have inspired this is called RAI, R-A-I. It's a Ethereum team. They're called Reflexor Lab is kind of the team behind it. And they built this concept that they call dampened Ethereum, where instead of pegging to some fiat amount, they're trying to create a stable asset that represents a stable amount of purchasing power over time. And so purchasing power is like, what does it take to buy 1 gallon of milk or one house or one, large basket of goods is kind of how you could think of purchasing power. And so using Bitcoin as sort of the backing behind this, we want to create something that is relatively stable to the purchasing power of Bitcoin itself, getting away from fiat. So that's sort of the one inspiration behind this is like focusing more on purchasing power than fiat.